Hi guys, it's me again. I haven't made a video for a few weeks, mainly because I've been quite busy with university work and stuff. I just wanted to post a quickish video today, just really to talk about some new symptoms that I've developed in the last few days, that are, I would say, probably the worst symptoms I've had with this whole sort of condition, whatever you want to call it. For those who haven't watched any of my other videos, I developed derealization, depersonalization, bit of both, mainly derealization, about 3 months ago now. So if you can hear a dog out the window, by the way, it's just going past. Yeah, about 3 months ago, and it's sort of it's progressed for those months, and it's changed a bit. And I've had quite a lot of symptoms a lot of people get. I've not had every symptom some people get, but if you want to watch some of my other videos, then you can. And generally, I've got to say that I've been, or tried to be, quite positive in some of these videos, because I know people watching them who've got problems like this don't really want to see people being negative. But I've just, in the last few days, these new symptoms have started to develop, and they are really starting to sort of get to me quite a bit. So I'm just going to put it out there what it is and stuff, and if anybody has had something similar or can relate in any way to the feeling that I'm going to try and explain, then feel free to comment or post a video response or something. Basically, it's really to do with disconnection, I would say, from people you're very close to. So when this condition started up, about 3 months ago, I was majorly sort of disconnected from my environment, from the external world, so sort of strangers that I'd see sort of on the street, or even looking at the road out the window, or even the house I live in. So everything that was familiar felt a bit alien and stuff. But the thing that never really changed was the people who I live with, which is my family still at the moment. I'm at uni sort of locally, so I still live at home at the moment. So that's my mum, dad, and brother. And yeah, I always still felt very close and attached to them, and they sort of remained pretty constant through all of those other feelings. And just in the last few days, I just I've just felt very, very disconnected from them as well. And when that then adds to the sort of disconnect from the environment, it really is kind of a double whammy, and it's kind of like the only feeling of normality or support you had is kind of gone. And I don't know, I mean, I think there's a few reasons for why it's happened. I'm just going to put out there a couple of things and just see what people think. Firstly, I was talking to my GP a few weeks ago, and he didn't mean to. I don't think he meant to, but he said something, and it kind of, it kind of put some crazy ideas in my head. Now, I'm going to say at this point that if people take, who have got this at the moment, and they take on things quite quickly, like ideas from other people, and start worrying about them and stuff, because I know that can happen quite easily with this condition. It's happened to me. So if you don't want to hear stuff that you might start worrying about, then maybe stop watching the video if you want, but other people who are willing to listen, then fair enough. Basically, and he said something like, he was checking that I was, not hallucinating, and he was like, oh, you're not seeing things that aren't really there. So I said, no, of course I'm not, because I wasn't. But then as I was leaving on the way back home, I started thinking to myself, because people who've got this condition will understand that, you do think crazy things. I mean, your mind goes completely, all over the place, basically. I mean, you can think pretty much everything when you've got this condition. And I started thinking, well, no, I'm not hallucinating, I'm not seeing things. But what if the things I am seeing are actually not there? So I am really hallucinating, if you know what I mean. So what if the things I'm seeing are there because I'm seeing them, but they're not really, kind of thing. So the opposite of hallucination in a weird way. So then I got home, and then that idea was set in my head then, and I started then thinking to myself, um, you know, are my parents, are they really there? You know, are people actually here? Cars that are going down the street really there? And all these crazy thoughts. And they are crazy. I mean, that's the thing. It's the really frustrating thing about this whole illness, that you know, you remain constantly aware of the fact that it is crazy thinking, but you can't shake the feeling. And I think only people who've got this illness will understand what I mean. But you know, you're aware fully that it's just madness. I mean, of course I know that people are real, you know, but of course I know that everything you're seeing is there. But it's, you know, it's what makes this condition so hard in a way, because you can't just be sent off to an asylum because you're crazy, because you aren't actually crazy, but you are having thoughts that sound like a crazy person. Um, so yeah, anyway, I started thinking that, and you know, it passed after a few days, and I kind of forgot about it. And then I was on an internet forum about a week or so ago, and seriously, guys, I'm going to say this, but beware of internet forums. I'm telling you, because I know they can be helpful, and they've helped me in the past, and it does help to see people. Um, you know, who've got the same thing you think you've got or whatever, and it helps to sort of see people talking about the same symptoms. And you know, I had to watch other videos and stuff, and yeah, I'm the first person you know, I've done that tons of times in the last few weeks. Um, but basically, I read something on an internet forum, probably a couple of weeks ago, and it set that whole thought process back off again about, you know, are things really there? I think it was something along the lines of, you know, somebody had said that they thought they were like in a coma somewhere, so what was happening wasn't real, and that when they checked, you know, things were real. Sorry if there's a bit of a problem with the video there, it's just getting a bit funny. That they were only saying yes because in their coma or subconscious they were having the people agree with them and stuff to make them feel better. And that whole premise, that whole idea has just gone crazy in my head in the last few weeks, and it's happened with the people who I care about the most and who I love the most and stuff, and it's really, you know, get to me. So I'm now imagining, sort of not imagining, but have this feeling that the people I live with aren't really here. So even when I'm with them, it's like, it's just, they're not there really. I can't imagine them having a life beyond talking to me, as if they're just very two-dimensional, as if when things happen or I do things with them, as if they're not going to remember it because they're not really involved in it. And it really, you know, it is quite freaky. I've noticed it's happening with my dad much worse than my mum and brother. I think probably because I can't really talk to my dad as much about the whole condition, just for various reasons. So he's kind of, you know, he's been supportive of it and stuff and knows about the basics of it, but he's just tried to kind of carry on as normal. Whereas my mum and brother, I've talked more to about it. But it's, you know, it's a really oppressive feeling, and you know, I've had this thing now for pretty much 3 months, and I think this last week is almost the worst I've felt with it, because it's, a lot of the other symptoms aren't really bothering me at the moment, but this particular one is just taking over. So I just wanted to put it out there. If anybody can sort of relate to what I'm talking to about, or you know, has had anything similar, you know, maybe if it just helps to hear somebody else with the same kind of thing, or might help me to hear somebody else with the same kind of thing. So basically, if I was summing it up in a nutshell, because I've waffled on again, but it's good to talk, as they say. Sometimes that's, you know, I would encourage people who are watching this, if you're feeling really thin, you know, make a YouTube video. It doesn't matter if nobody watches it. Sometimes it's just good to vent. I mean, or talk to yourself, one of the two. But if you do it to a camera, at least you can't be accused of going mad. But yeah, I was thinking before, actually, I was getting the webcam out and stuff. I was thinking, I wish I was using this webcam for the reasons I got it. You know, wasn't having to make all these videos about this. I was actually doing, you know, fun things and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so basically, in a nutshell, it's this feeling of disconnect from people that you're closest to, you know, really feeling like genuinely, especially when you're on your own as well, I would say, like feeling that those people aren't anywhere else, kind of thing. Like they're not really there wherever they are. You're kind of only they're only there when you see them, sort of thing. I mean, it sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but if anybody can relate to it, then please get in touch. Just one other thing I want to say is I've actually got somebody coming to see me tomorrow, who my GP is sort of organised for me to see. I think they come from the hospital, and they're like called early diagnosis team. I think basically they're just trying to diagnose what's wrong with me and to see if whether I'm going mad or not. But I think I've done found them, because I appear to be very normal. I can still do a lot of normal things, and it's you know, and yet at the same time I have this just incredible sense of abnormality at the same time. It's really hard to explain. But so anyway, I'll maybe post a video and let you know how that goes. But in the meantime, hang in there. I just want to sort of final point say that if anybody if anybody's watching this and is going through anything similar to this, or this condition generally, or whatever, and you feel really, really bad, I just want to say that, you know, I have felt as bad as I think it's possible to feel in the last few days at various times, and you know, just hang in there, really do. Don't go onto too many internet forums. Don't read about people who are taking, you know, thinking about taking drastic action or whatever, because trust me, it's not worth it. You know, just have the belief that you can get through it and that it won't last forever. You know, I know occasionally you sort of feel like it can't get any worse, and then it does. As has happened with me, I actually thought I was getting better. About a week and a half ago, I had the best day or night I've had for a long time, and then the following day I got all this new stuff. But just hang in there, you know, just try and focus on goals in the future. And the thing I'm trying to tell myself at the moment is, and it's really hard to, but you've just got to try, and that is that life is much more than just the moment we're in. It's much more than the month or 2 or 3 months that we're in. You know, life, especially if you're quite young, you know, there's tons of time ahead of you where you could get over this and still enjoy yourself and everything. But I mean, trust me, I know it's hard. I'm having to convince myself every day of that as well. But anyway, any comments? I know that this has gone on too long, but any comments, any responses will be welcome, especially if anybody can sort of understand the angle I'm coming at with the other thing. Alright, don't worry if you can't understand it, and I'm sorry if I put any things in people's head. You know, I don't want to give people more worries, because I know one of the worst things with this condition is that you take on other people's symptoms and people start reading things other people haven't, start imagining they've got it. That can be really easy to do, but just yeah, just try and hang in there. Alright, okay, thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Bye.